What's up, guys? In this video we're going to be talking on how we can handle social authentication with Django web framework from scratch. No Django package or plugin required. Alright. Social media authentication is very important in your website because it allows your users to sign up and sign in with ease. Alright, they do not have to start filling forms to create an account, username, email, password, first name and last name. With just their preferred social media account of choice, you just click on it and click on their email, and voila, they are automatically signed in or signed up. It takes the stress of creating an account from scratch. There are plugins that can do this in Django. There are a lot of plugins, but the downsides of using plugins is that you do not have total control over your authentication. Alright, most of the times using plugins, you are cornered to the authentication pattern. You are forced to follow the authentication pattern. But when you build your own social authentication from scratch, you have total control over how you want to handle the authentication. Alright, you might want users to create an account without username, thereby extending the abstract base user, or you have your own your own custom authentication you want, and you need to do this from scratch. Alright, so if you want your own authentication from scratch, you do not want to be limited to any package authentication, it's advisable to do this by yourself, which I'm going to show you how to. We are going to be working with Facebook sign-in, Google sign-in, LinkedIn sign-in, and Github sign-in. Alright guys, so the first thing we need to do for our project is to create our virtual environment. So I'll be doing that now. Virtual env, my env. Alright, and we need to activate it. So if you're on Windows or Mac, you should know how to do this as well. I'm currently on Ubuntu. Alright, so now we need to install the packages we're going to be working with. Pip install Django. We need Django because obviously this is a Django project. We need requests and we need Python. Yeah, we need requests for sending HTTP request, get, post, delete, patch, put. And we need Python .env. So this package is going to help us work with our environmental variables using .env files. So we do not have to push sensitive information to our GitHub account or any repository. So let us allow it to install and come back to it. Okay, now our package has finished installing. So let us proceed to create our Django application. So Django admin start project. Let's call it Django social auth. Good. Seed into Django social auth, and let's open it on VS Code. Okay, perfect. Good. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure our env file is configured. Okay, so head on to your settings.py file, and we need to set up our env file to be able to load the file. Okay, so we have to import it from .env. Import load .env. Okay, and we have to load it. Env. We have to pass in this. Our env file is going to be located in our Django main directory. All right, so we have to, these are the parts of the main directory, and using this code is going to tell our settings.py to locate our env file in our main project folder, okay, which is where our manage.py is always located, which is here. So I can as well come here to create a .env file, and this should work. Good. So good. Right now we need to create our app. All right. So let me clear that things out. Python manage.py start app. Let's call it users. Good. Jesus, perfect. So we need to register the app in our installed app users. Good. So now we can go ahead to migrate. There's no need for running leak migrations because we don't have any migrations in our users app. So we just have to migrate, and then we run 7. Python manager by around 7. Good. So yeah, the install successfully works. So we've been able to set up our Django project, and now let's proceed. All right, so now we have to create our sign-in page, which would ask if we want to sign in with Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, or Github. The first thing we need to do is to let's create our views, and for simplicity I'm going to be working with function based views, so you can work with whatever you choose to work with. All right, so from django.short, render is imported already. Then we have to create our sign-in function, sign-in view, requests. All right, then return render requests signin.html. All right, then our sign out or logout view requests. Then we have to log out the requests. So redirect to the home page. Then we'll have to import that as well from django.trade.auth. Import logout port. Then we also have to import redirect, which is from render. All right, good. So these are what we need. We need the sign-in page, and we need the sign out or logout view. All right. Then the next thing is to work on our urls.py. So we'll be creating our urls.py in our users application. All right. So we start with the import from django.urls import paths. So I have to import the views from our views.py, and finally we have to give it our app name. Let's give it user URL. Good. Then next thing is to set up the URL patterns. Okay. Paths which we just imported. Okay. The first one is should be empty. Then views dot sign view. Good. Then name should be sign in. And the second one for our sign outs
but let's call it logout, and use dot logout view, and the name should be logout. All right, so this is our urls.py. Then the next thing we need to do is to connect this to our project urls.py. All right, so just come here and type paths. Okay, well, I want this to be our home page and include users dot urls. So you have to include from the paths. Good. So our entry point is going to be this empty string, and it's connected to our user heroes.py, and it also has an entry point which is an empty string, and it's connecting to our sign-in view. Perfect. So now the next thing we're going to be doing is to render the templates. All right. So in our project folder, I prefer doing this. Some people like creating the template folder in their app. Just personal preference. I prefer doing it in the project folder, so you can do whatever suits you. All right. To create our template, and what's the name? Okay, signin.html. Good. Then finally, in our settings.py, we want to give the location of the templates. So on that template, we just add this slash templates. Good. So after run the server again, and we come here to refresh. Good. We can see empty templates, which is this. Let's see, hello world. Good. All right, guys. So now we want to work on our sign-in page. So we have different options to sign in. So first thing I'll do is to href, then a button. First one should be sign in with Facebook. We're going to be doing Google, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and finally GitHub. So just a basic HTML page, not too much styling. Then also want to know if we are authenticated, then we'll display the username or the email. If request.user.is authenticated. Hello. Request.user.username. Then let's just give email request.user.email. Good. Then end if. So if we are able to log in successful, we should display this. Then finally, we need to have a logout button. Logout. Okay. Perfect. Good. So we're going to start with Facebook sign in. All right. All right, guys. So we're going to head to developers.facebook.com, and you should be required to log in with your Facebook account, right? And we're going to click on my apps. All right. So we need to get our Facebook app ID and our secrets, Facebook secrets here. So we're going to create new app, right? Authenticate here, we need it for authentication. No, I'm not bidding again. Well, if you are bidding again, you can add that. Then app name, let's call it Django social signing, right? Then create app. So once it has been created, it's going to redirect us to a page. Okay, perfect, good. So now we need to do some things. So first of all, in our app domain, so we're going to add localhost because we're currently working on localhost, and if we're on production, we have the domain of your production. Then then you come here add platform, which is web. Well, you can see if you are signing with other platforms, you can use that, but currently we're using a website. Then we're going to add the website URL as this http localhost and port 8000. So I think, well, we are doing just these two because we are using it for development purposes, right? So if you want to, you are done testing, you want to move to production, you have to make sure everything here is filled, and you can see it's currently eligible for submission. App icon, privacy policy URL, user data deletion, category rating has to be done. But the fact that we are using it for developmental purposes, it can allow us to bypass. Then we head to use cases, right? So let's see what we have there. We want to get the user profile from Facebook login, and we also want to get their email. So currently we need to customize this authentication and account creation. So we need to customize this, and we need to add email. If not, it's not going to work. So we need to get the user email. Ready for testing. Public profile. So going back to dashboard. Okay, sorry. We're going to basic here, so you can get the credentials. All right. So now I already have the app ID, which I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste it in our .env file. All right. So I'm going to call it Facebook app ID, which is going to be this. And finally, the app secrets. All right, so we're going to Facebook app. Let's call it Facebook secrets. Then finally, we need the Facebook redirect URL, which is going to be secure localhost. All right, so we're going to be using this Facebook redirect URL later on, not now. So this is all we need from our accounts. All right. So the next thing we need to do now is to add everything on our env file to our views and our context, because we'll be needing them in our sign.html page. All right, so create a variable Facebook app ID equals to, okay, first of all I need to import, okay, OS is imported already. os.env, okay, I need this for the remaining two. Facebook secrets, and finally Facebook redirect URL. All right. Then they need to be added to our context as well. Good. Then finally, context. All right. So all this data we're getting from our redirect URL should be slash Facebook. Yeah, not just Facebook. It should be slash Facebook. We want to get data here. Good. So finally we need this, which is gotten from my blog, and what this does, and oh yeah, also it's gotten from Facebook documentation. Okay, doing it manually. Yeah, you have to scroll down to here. All right, so I'm going to explain what it does in a minute, so I have to paste it here. Good. Well, let me just explain directly from the docs. So basically, once the user clicks on this sign in with Facebook, it redirects them down to this Facebook URL, right? And then our query parameter is added, which is our client ID, which was ours was already gotten from our env file. The redirect URI, which we set also. Then this is actually optional, the auth type. Then the final thing is the scope. Okay, we need the scope to give permissions. We need users to give us permissions to access their email, to access their user profile, whatever we want to access. So that's what the scope is for. And it was gotten, well, you can see, I'm going to drop these links also. Okay, good. So we can see the permissions that we have currently. What we have in our code is just the email and the public profile, right? If you need to access different things concerning the user, business money, whatever you are building depends on like we have email which we already had. Whatever you are building depends on the permission you want. If you want the Instagram, well, everything is there. This is going to be shown to the user once they want to log in, that you need access to this their data, so they have the right to either accept or decline, right? Now we have everything. We just need the email and the public profile. Facebook redirect URL has been set in our context, right? The Facebook app ID has been set in our context as well. Good. So also we have to change it from our IP address to localhost, so that it can, since we set localhost in our Facebook app, it has to be from, the request has to come from localhost. All right, so click on sign. All right, so if you should click on sign in with Facebook, it's direct us to here, and you can see Django authors is requesting access to your email, your name, profile picture. So if I should click on continue, it logs me in and redirects me to my redirect URL, which we set already, and we have some query parameters, right, which we are going to extract and do data with. So yeah, it has been successfully logged in, and we were redirected to where we set our redirect URL to, which was slash Facebook, and it came with some query parameters, which is code. I think let's see about that. So it's just code, and we'll be working with this. Right. At this point, we need to create our Facebook redirect URL so that we can get the data from Facebook and create our user. All right, so I already have the code here on my blog, so I'll just copy it and explain what it does. All right, I need to import requests. I need to import login and user. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what this does is that okay, then let me create the url.py for it. Facebook. Then okay, Facebook sign in, then it's gonna be Facebook. All right. So once we click on Facebook, it tries to get the code which is going to be coming from our Facebook sign in. Then as a query parameter, right? Then we get our app ID from our env variable. Yeah. Then we get our app secrets too from Facebook secret and redirect URL also. Then we send requests to Facebook API with this credential with the app ID, the redirect URI, the app secret and the code. Okay. Then Facebook is going to give us our access token. All right. So this is a two-way process. Oh, a three-way process actually. So the first request we are going to send is to get the access token, right? Then once we've gotten the access token, we use this access token to get the user ID. All right, so get user ID with access token. Okay, then when we've gotten the user ID with access token, we finally send a request to get the details of the user. For instance, these are the fields: the ID, name, email, pictures, and again we use the same access token. Okay, so let's try to log in with Facebook and let's see. Then finally, when we've gotten the details, we create our user. All right, so get or create email. I'm using the email as username as well, so it's up to you. Whatever details you want to get from Facebook, you get it and you can create the user. Okay, then this is by default first name and last name. Okay, so the advantage of you using your building authentication from scratch is that you have total control of everything. For instance, you can build your own custom user. I'm using the default Django user and you can do whatever you want with the information coming from Facebook. Unlike using packages, when you use packages you are limited to only their way of authentication, but with this you are free to do whatever you want as far as you've gotten the data. All right, so let us proceed to test and hopefully it works. All right, so I'm going to refresh again, sign in with Facebook.
All right, for LinkedIn authentication, head into linkedin.com/developers/apps and let's create a new app. So let's call it Django signing. Um, well, we'll have to fill in the form. I have a page already. Okay, good. Privacy policy. You need to make sure, well, all these things are compulsory, so you need to make sure they are actually good. So I'm just going to put a random picture. So you need to make sure they're all filled. Good. So now we need, under the products tab, we need signing here. This is what we need. We need to request access for this in order to sign in. All right. I think, well, if you need share on LinkedIn, you can request access for the rest. And yeah, currently we just need the OAuth, right? Then going back to auth, we can see we already have our secret and our client ID. So yeah, we need the redirect URL. Always make sure the redirect URL is what you have.
localhost slash 8000 slash LinkedIn. All right, so I'm going to click on updates. Good. So I think we are good to go. um I don't think we need the scopes there for now. So yeah, so now we need to copy our credentials. Okay, so this is going to be LinkedIn client ID, which is equals to this. Would copy the secrets, so which is LinkedIn secrets. Okay, LinkedIn clients secrets. And finally, the redirect URL, which we had here. LinkedIn redirect URL. So we're good to go. Then in our views.py, yeah, we need to paste it here. So LinkedIn os.environment remaining two. The client secrets. And the redirect URL. Then we need to add it to our context as well. Client ID and client secrets. I don't think we need the secrets here. I don't think we need it on the page. Just the client ID. Okay, we're good to go. So so let's scroll down to where we have LinkedIn. Yeah, so I'm just going to copy it here and yeah, paste it in our LinkedIn HTML. Yeah, the href. Okay, so we have the client ID, which is this. We have the redirect URL, and we have the scope. So in our scope, we need the open ID, we need the profile, and we need the email as well. All right, so we'll run the server now. Okay, now if we click on LinkedIn sign in, okay, it's asking me to sign in my account. All right, good. You can see the logo we put is there. Django sign. I would like to take your name and photo, everything. So immediately I click on allow, it's what's again. Immediately I click on allow, it redirects me back to slash LinkedIn, and we're currently having 404 because we've not created it. So let's now create our views. Okay, I will just copy this and explain. So we can import from django.http http response. Yeah, so I think that's what we just did here. Okay, so basically, as you can see from here, the query parameter is the code, right? And that's why we get it here. Then so this is the header, keep alive, and it's a form encoded URL. All right, so we get the client ID from our environment variables, the client secret, and the redirect URL, right? Now I want to send a request to get the access token on behalf of the user. All right, and this is our body. The grant type is set to authorization code. Client secret is client secret, which we've gotten from our env file. The client id as well. Then the code is the code we got from LinkedIn in our redirect url. Then the redirect url is our LinkedIn redirect url, which we set in our LinkedIn account, in our apps, and as well in our environmental variable. Yeah, so I was going to send post request to get the token, right? And yes, the token. So our data is going to be the body and the headers. Good. So once, if it's less than 400, it means, yeah, it's our request is successful, and we are going to get the right data, and I'm going to get the token. Sometimes you might want to print data to see if it's just token that is there, or see other data that is there. So once we've gotten the token on behalf of the user, we're going to send another request to request for the user information. All right, and we get the name, the given name, family name. I think this is first name and last name. Yes, first name and the last name. Then the email and the picture as well. So we added this as part of our scopes, and then we'll create the user, or get or create if, well, the user is not there. And when it's successful, we'll go to, will direct straight to the home page. Okay, so now this is our LinkedIn words, and I would create the URL for it. Let's call it LinkedIn, which will, which was in our redirect URL. Okay, is our logout working? Okay, our logout is not working. So we are already logged in on Facebook, and I will want to log us out first. So is that the name, which is logout. App name is user URL. Okay, good. So let's go to our home page and refresh. Okay, good. So I'm logged out now. So let's try our LinkedIn sign in and allow. Good. So as you can see, we are logged in on LinkedIn already. So our code worked fine. We're able to get the user data, um, and create the account. Okay, so again, you already have the details, so it's left for you to do whatever you want with the information. If you have a custom user, you create account based on what you have. You already have the credentials. So that's it for LinkedIn, and go to your GitHub settings, then scroll down to developer settings. Go to OAuth apps, yeah, and create a new OAuth app. So let's call it Django social sign. uh, this should be localhost 8000. Well, this is optional, so we can leave it. This will be localhost 8000 slash github where the best flavor. This is optional as well. So let's register the application. Okay. Um, this is the client ID, and let's generate a client secret. We have to put my GitHub password and violence is generated. Okay, so now we need to set our environmental variable again as usual. Coming here, GitHub client ID. Then I'm going to copy the secret, GitHub client secret. Then finally GitHub redirect. GitHub redirect URL. It was slash GitHub. All right. Okay, so that's all we need. Then in our views.py, we just need the client ID. Okay, so come here, os.environ, then we add it to our context as well. Okay, good. So again, as usual, OAuth follows the same pattern: the client ID, redirect URL, and the scope. And I'm going to do that for LinkedIn too. So I'll just go down to where I implemented it here and copy. So it's really straightforward. If you notice the pattern we've been using, really straightforward. So all right, good. The scope. So so this is our scope: user email and client IDs, GitHub client ID. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, I need to log out first. Good. Then sign in with GitHub. Okay, it's going to authorize. Authorize. And it's redirecting me to GitHub. Again, we have a 404 not found because we've not created our URL for the redirect. Good. So as usual, copy it. It's left for you to handle it the way you want, but for this tutorial I'm using HTTP response because it's very fast for this tutorial, easy. So yeah, the HTTP response, if there's error, so if there's an error you should handle it on your own end. All right, good. So as usual, we get the client ID, client secret, we get the code from the URL parameter, then we send request to get the access token, post request using the client ID, the client secret, the code which is going to be gotten from the URL parameter. And well, as usual, we are sending a JSON data and it's a post request, and this is the response. So again, you can print the response to see the data GitHub is sending. There might be some keys and noise that you would need. Okay, so if it's less than 400, again you can print the data to know why this is we're going to be printing the error. Okay, I'm going to be returning the error because the error comes as an object. All right, well, if it's not, we get the token, the access token, and again we send request to the user and we get the details, get the email, get the name. And yeah, this just gave us the name completely, so I tried to split it and to get, the first name and last name so we can use it. So that's the reason I splitted it. Then again, we have the avatar, which is the profile picture. So I left it here unused because I'm using default. In everything I've been doing, I've been leaving the profile picture unused because with Django default model does not have a field for profile picture. So but again, it depends on you. If you are building a platform whereby in their profile picture, then you need this, so you can create it and add it on your own. Then again, we use the get or create to create the user and the defaults. When if it tries to get and there's no user of this email, it tries to create, and that's where this first name and last name comes in, set as default. Good. Then we log in the user and we direct to the home page. So everything we've been following the same pattern. OAuth is actually similar in almost all platforms. Okay, then I would go back and create the URL for GitHub. It should be GitHub. GitHub. Okay, good. So let's go back to sign in again. GitHub. Come on. Yeah. So you can see it's straightforward. So the fact that I have already signed in already. So the first thing we need to do is to get our credentials. Okay. So head on to Google Cloud. Go to APIs and services. So let me just go straight to the dashboard. Well, APIs and services actually here. Okay. All products. Yeah, APIs and services, or you can as well search. I think it's removed from my pin. Well, but you can search for it as well. Then we go to credentials. So we can as well create credentials here. Good. So this is what we need, the OAuth client ID. All right. It's a web application. Let's call it the Django sign. Okay, Django social. Then redirect error. So let's see next step. Localhost and localhost / Google. All right, so localhost 48,000, and we add the URL and sorry, this is /Google, right? All fields are filled and click on submit, create rather. Okay, so in our env file, All right. uh, Google client ID, Google client secrets. This is the ID and this is the secret. All right, so we are good to go. We go to enable API and services. We're going to click on this enable API and service, and it's Google. All right, so let's search Google People API, and this is it. Okay, it has been enabled for me, so I've enabled it on this. You can see API enabled. It's enabled on my account, but if it's not enabled on your account, you would need to enable it. All right, so we need to update this os.environ, then in our context, then Google redirects URL as well. We didn't add it. Slash Google. All right, Google redirects URL. Good. So we need to bring it out here as well. Okay, good. So Google redirect URL is gotten from our .env, and oh, I made a mistake. All right, perfect. So we have our Google client ID gotten from our environmental variable. We have our Google redirect URL coming from our environmental variable as well. You have to be very careful, okay? If you know you are the type that makes mistakes, you can hard code them. But for some reasons, I decided to use environmental variable here. Okay, I think we're good to go. So finally we add this to our href in our HTML page. Google. Perfect. So again, um, we have the Google redirect URL, which is in our context, and we have the Google client ID. So let's sign in with Google. In the beginning, I'll have to log out. Good. So it would request which accounts. Okay, continue, and again we have the 404. So it's sending successfully, and we got the 404. If you notice, this is not a URL parameter. Okay, others have been getting URL parameter. This is not the normal URL parameter. Rather, the number ones we've been getting starts with question mark. Okay, but this starts with a pound sign. Okay, so what we need to do is in our redirect URL, in our redirect URL, we need to create a HTML page and use JavaScript to get this data. Okay, once we get the data, we pass it as
URL parameter again, so we can achieve what we need to achieve. All right, so I'm going to create the views for it. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. I don't think we need to import any other thing. It has been imported. And I'm going to create our Google sign.html. Okay, and I will explain why we are doing this again in a bit. Ever since we've not created any HTML file, why do we have to create now? And okay, I will copy this and paste it. Okay, so basically, like I said, in our query parameter, in our URL, this is not a standard query parameter. Standard query parameter is supposed to start with question mark. For this current version of Facebook of Google API we're using, okay, um, we try to get the access token, request or get access token, and if the access token is there, we send requests to Google API requesting, yeah, the me, um, requesting for the email address, names, and photos. All right, and this is a get request, unlike others that have been post. And if it's successful, we get our name, family name, which is surname, and given name, which is actually our name, and the email and the photo again. Then the user is created. Okay, so if there is no access token, just proceed to google signing.html. So on our first redirect, it's going to go straight to google sign.html page because access token is not there, right? We do not have access token here. Okay, we have access token here rather, but it's not a standard query parameter. So that is the reason we need google sign.html page. And in our scripts on load, once the scripts loads, we try to get the value of this, okay, and we split it and get our token, okay, um which is value. Good. So once we've gotten it, we redirect again to this same URL, which is slash google, right? And now we give the proper access token. Perfect. So now coming here, we're going to see the token because we're going to redirect it from here. All right, so let's try it and let's see. I'm going to log in with google. So this time I want to try a different email account. Let me try buddhist code at gmail.com. Continue. And oh, we've not set the URL. Google, Google sign in and Google. All right. So let's try this again. Um, so let's go straight. Stay with because we're short. All right. Sign in, continue, and it's redirect us. Good. So you can see I've been sending. So let me sign in the different email accounts. I tend to log out, it will just automatically sign in. Yeah, as you can see, the buddhistcode.com has been signing. So successfully done Google sign in. All right. With this knowledge, you would be able to handle social authentication with Django REST framework as well, or any other framework for building REST APIs, because it's a similar knowledge. All right. All you need to do is handle the sign in the front end. Alright, you might be working with front end like React, Vue.js, Angular, or any front end frameworks. There are always packages for doing this in the front end. So once the sign in is successful in the front end itself, it also redirects you to a URL with the code or access token or whatever is needed in the redirect URL. Alright, on the front end there again, you get the data needed in the query parameter and send it to the backend. Then the backend can handle everything from there, from creating the users or signing in the users. All right, so if you have any questions, you can ask. I'll be in the comments to always try to respond. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you around.